An exciting new museum for Kansas City and the surrounding region is in its infancy, the Kansas City Auto Museum. The Kansas City area is home to major automotive and motorcycle manufacturing plants, racetracks, and a vibrant automotive collector community. We have a proud automotive heritage that needs to be preserved and celebrated. We're long overdue for a first-class auto museum to be the hub of all things automotive in our area.
This won't be just a building with some classic cars in it, but a real museum with displays covering dozens of interesting automotive-related topics, such as the story of our local auto workers and factories, our car dealers and the hilarious advertisements they've made over the years, our local racetracks and race car drivers, our car clubs and their dedicated members, as well as our local automotive-related businesses, such as accessory manufacturers and specialty performance shops. We'll be certain to include in the museum an extensive and hands-on children's area.
One really unique aspect about the cars we'll have on display is that they won't be owned by the museum. The cars in our display will be cars owned by Kansas Cityans and will be a mix of many different makes, models, and eras. We estimate that there are approximately 10,000 privately owned classic cars squirreled around in garages in our area. We'd like to see what's out there and rotate the most interesting of these cars through the museum's display. But we'll only have room to display about 50 of them at a time, which will ensure a constantly changing inventory of collector cars, trucks, and motorcycles on display.
Working with Union Station, Kansas City, we've developed a plan which involves a series of special events to raise funds and public awareness for the museum. After that, the Kansas City Automotive Museum will create a temporary exhibit located in Union Station's traveling exhibit spaces. If the temporary exhibit is well supported, the final step will be to open the doors on a permanent facility in or around Union Station.
One very important thing to understand is that this is a grassroots campaign to create the museum. We need the people of the greater Kansas City area to get behind this effort and support it both financially and with their time and talents.
There are many ways you can get involved. You could serve as a member of the board of directors. You could become a member of the museum support group. You could lend your classic car to be proudly displayed at the museum on a short-term basis. You could become a donor of a vehicle or automotive memorabilia and receive a tax deduction for yourself. Finally, you can become a financial supporter of the museum and be recognized for your support and a permanent display honoring donors.
We are seeking members for our board of directors. A director of the museum will play a key role in the museum's creation and direction. A director will be expected to assume responsibility for one specific aspect of the museum, such as fundraising director, community events calendar coordinator, programming director, vehicle finder and inventory manager, facilities director, or special events director.
We need volunteers for our museum support group. The Museum Support Group's principal mission will be to provide the manpower to execute projects in the startup of the museum, to assist in the maintenance of the museum, to assist with special events, and to act as tour guides to safeguard the museum's displays and assist the museum's visitors. We have an immediate need for volunteers willing to man information booths at local car shows. Museum Support Group members will receive special perks as a reward for their service to the museum.
We're looking for classic car owners who would like to loan their vehicle to the museum for temporary display. The museum will have display space for approximately 50 automobiles and 15 to 20 vintage motorcycles, and we are currently developing a list of vehicles available to us.
We are also soliciting permanent donations of vehicles and memorabilia. Although the majority of display vehicles will be on short-term loan, the museum will accept permanent donations of vehicles and automotive memorabilia. The museum is a not-for-profit corporation, and donors will receive a letter acknowledging the gift for tax purposes. Donors of items of significant value will be recognized permanently in the museum.
We are currently soliciting donations to fund the startup of the museum. Once the museum opens its permanent facility, projections show that it will generate sufficient cash flow to cover its operating expenses. But we need to raise a minimum of $500,000 in startup capital to secure a facility, make improvements, create displays, and provide operating reserves. Although we will seek corporate sponsors, a grassroots fundraising campaign will be required to raise the needed startup capital. All donors will receive recognition for their support of the museum, and various perks depending on the size of their donation. The board of directors will custom tailor a recognition package to suit the needs of major contributors.
We thank you for your time and interest in watching this presentation and hope that you'll choose to become involved in creating this exciting new museum. Please take a moment to visit with one of our representatives who can answer any questions you might have. You can also get more information at kansascityautomuseum.com or contact us at info@kansascityautomuseum.com.